So the next step in mixing this is to automate each track. But before we get to this step, I sent a rough mix to the client or the artist to get their opinion of where we are. And the biggest feedback I got from it is that it sounds great, but it's a bit too aggressive as far as the 2-bus compression and the drums. Everything is clear and clean, but it's pumping a little bit too much. They prefer it to sound a bit more natural, which is okay. It makes sense for this genre. And also, the effect on the Rhodes at the end is a bit too loud. So we're going to make that a little more subtle as well. So let's see how to approach that before we automate this. So let's start off with the 2-bus compression. Let's turn off the multiband and let's check out the regular compressor. Right now our threshold is about -7. Let's see what it's doing. Let's try bringing that back about half as much. That's a bit more subtle. Next, we'll go to the multiband. Put it back on. This is also doing a bit too much. It's making it sound very processed and crunchy. So let's pull this back as well. Right now, each band is set to -6. Let's try bringing that back. That's better. Let's type these in, just so they're all the same. It still gives an improvement, but it's not as aggressive. So now let's work on the drums. Let's mute all the other tracks. The other thing that's making the drum sound aggressive is our crush bus. Let's bring the mix of the crush bus versus the direct bus down a bit. It still improves it, but it's a bit more subtle. Before, now let's hit it with the whole track. It's not nearly as aggressive, and it's a lot more natural sounding, not so processed. So let's go ahead and start automating the tracks. We'll start with the intro guitar, right here, the guitar rhythm. We'll put it into touch mode. Check out automation mode, and make sure volume is turned on. Now we can automate this track. And we can see the results right here. These are the moves we made. We didn't do anything drastic, but even slight adjustments can mean a lot in the mix. So let's move on to the guitar head and the sax. Again, I'll put it in touch mode. Let's turn off the sacks for now, just so we can hear this a bit clearer. And let's ride it. Just so it's a bit above the track. We don't want it too loud. We want to keep room for the sax. Now let's do the sax. Turn it back on. Put it in touch mode. And do the same thing. And this is what it looks like. Let's move on to the second sax. Over here. Touch mode. Now, if you notice at the end, I pulled it down. That's because I want to create an effect where the sax moves away. And the way to do that is by bringing it down and then bringing up the effects. So let's automate the effects on this last line. Go to the reverb, and we're in touch mode, but go to automation enable and turn on send volume. So we can automate the send as well. So I'm going to bring up the reverb and delay right here. And the delay. It creates an interesting effect. There's the reverb, and there's the delay. Now let's do the guitar solo. And if you remember, we have two tracks here. Go to the mix window. We have two tracks here. One with an amp simulator and one that's direct. And we like to balance the way it's set up right now. We want to ride them together. So the way to do that is by grouping them. So let's select them both. Choose group. We'll name it solo. Now they'll work together. Now let's ride those. And the only thing I'm not liking about that is at the end, it got a bit too crunchy. Right about there. So I'm going to turn off the group. Right over here. I'm going to automate them separately. I'm going to bring the amp sound down. So we hear more of the direct sound, and then we'll bring the direct up. But I'm not liking that last note, so let's automate that by drawing it in. Right here. Go to the line tool, just fade it out here. I like that better. A little cleaner at the end. It makes room for a sax solo here. So let's jump to the end and work on the Rhodes. Right here. And again, we're going to bring this down from where it was, so it's not nearly as loud. And it looks like this, and it's a lot more subtle. So that's pretty much it. I'll probably go back and tweak a few more things, but I think you get the idea. So now in the next video, I'm just going to run the final mix without stopping, just so you have it as a reference. But for now, this was mixing a jazz fusion song. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.